morning, everyone. Welcome to the Coffee Chat. I'm Andy Broussard, Director of Outreach and Advocacy for AARP Kansas, and I'm joined today by Troy Broussard, who is a Senior Advisor at AARP, and he's here to talk to us about veterans issues. Good morning, Troy.
Hey, good morning, Andy. It's a pleasure to be here with you today.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule. I know that you are actually at a conference and took time away from the conference to step away and join us this morning. So thank you very much.
Oh, no, it's my pleasure. You know, it's always a pleasure to come and speak to your audience and talk to something that's very near and dear to my heart, and that's veterans, military, and their families.
Well, speaking of veterans, military, and their families, first off, thank you for your service. And I'd like to know a little bit more about the initiative that AARP has for veterans and their military families going on right now.
Yeah, I'm very excited to share with you that we have an initiative. It's called the Veterans, Military, and Their Families Initiative. It was started conceptually back in 2015, and then it was launched in 2018. And the focus is to empower our nearly 6 million members who are former military or current military with AARP. And we're focused around four major focus areas. The first area is around providing free and educational resources around caregiving, making sure that we let folks know about our Vets Job Centers, where veterans and military spouses can re-career themselves, get additional skills free of charge. And in addition, we also have ways that they can connect to their earned benefits, working through the VA system. And then lastly is fraud. We want to make sure that we protect our veterans from those scams that are targeting veterans and their families. So for me, as a former Army Desert Storm veteran, and I'm working for AARP now, I'm very excited that I get to complete my second mission, and that's to give back and really, really help our veterans and military families. Like I mentioned earlier, nearly 6 million that are AARP members currently.
Wow, that's a lot of people.
Yes, Andy, yes.
I want to focus a little bit on two pillars, if we could, and that's the caregiving and the fraud. Can you tell me a little bit about what AARP does to support veteran and their military family caregivers?
You know, I'll start off with caregiving. Caregiving is an integral part of our work, and we have created the AARP Veteran Military Caregiver Guide, and this is a caregiver guide, step by step, that allows veterans and their families to take a look at this, and this will help veteran families with all the issues that they have and concerns. This is a one-stop shop resource that they can use, that it's free, and it really makes that caregiving process a bit easier. You know, it can be stressful, and those guides can be located at our aarp.org/veteran site. You can download those free, and those give specific information that's catered to veteran and military families. So that's the first thing that we're doing, and then also. Another important part is that we have partnered with the Elizabeth Dole Foundation to ensure that we're working with their caregivers. They have caregivers in every state, and we want to ensure that we connect those fellows with our local AARP staff in those areas so that they can do programming in that area. So it's a way that we can use a national partnership to really get local and really drive engagement and work with military caregivers all across the United States. So very proud of the work that we're doing in the caregiving space.
Yeah, we really appreciate the work that you're doing in the caregiver space. And if you do want more information on that, the website that Troy referenced is scrolling along the bottom, and that is www.aarp.org/veterans. And you will find lots of information there. And one of the other pillars that you mentioned was fraud. And I know that fraud against veterans and military families is a huge issue. And I wonder, can you tell me about the families that are targeted by
Yes.
scammers?
Yes, Andy. What we found is that veterans, military, and their families are targeted by scammers more than civilians. You know, and and what's worse is that scammers often target veterans and those who have served in the military. With offers of offers of that things that are already available to them for free. So, we did a recent survey back in November of 2021. One in three military veteran adults reported losing money to these types of service related scams. And of those who lost money, the top scams were turning over your VA pension or disability for a supposed lump sum payment that never materialized. Can you imagine serving your
I
country,
can't. Yeah.
having a pension and then having a scammer connect and relate to you about I'm going to give you a lump sum payment, and then that pension is gone. All
Oh,
that hard
that's
work you have
horrible.
gone, terrible. And then paying for updated military records, and then donating to fake veteran child charities. I want to share with all your audience members who are veterans and their families. Never, never, never will you ever pay for military records. It's called the DD Form 214. That does not happen. If somebody calls you and tell you that, hang up. It is a scam. Please, want to make sure everybody hears that, please.
And it sounds like there are a lot of scams targeting uh, veterans and military families. Can you tell me kind of a ballpark about how much money's been lost?
Wow, we got this information from the Federal Trade Commission. It estimates that military consumers lost, hope you're ready for this, Andy, 267 million that was reported in
Yeah.
2021. That is up from 102 million in 2020 to fraud and identity theft. Now,
Oh, wow.
but Andy, keep in mind what I said. That was reported. Sometimes when veterans or anyone is scammed, they don't want to report those scams. Okay, so can you imagine? We know for a fact that 267 million is more than likely a higher number because some of the scams that will not even be reported. So that's why it's important for us to provide tools to veterans and their families so that they can protect themselves so they don't have to not report it or report it because those scams won't happen to them.
Yeah, that is just horrible to
Yeah,
hear the amount. And my heart just goes out because our veterans protect us, and we owe them so much, and appreciate them so much.
absolutely,
Um,
Andy. So
so
it's unconscionable. It's unconscionable, to be honest with you.
absolutely. So in order to help some of our veterans and military families, what are some red flags they can look out for?
Absolutely. The first thing that I will share with everyone is that the VA will never ask you for personal information via email or mailed letters. The VA does not send threat and claim letters to you with jail or lawsuits. So if you hear that, that's a red flag. It's probably a scam. If they can manipulate their caller IDs to be from a different area, a person, place. So when in doubt, if you receive these phone calls, just hang up. And I'll repeat again: veterans never have to pay for their own service records. If you're told that it's a scam, any type of offer to update your military records and please give me your social security number. So what happens there when that happens? Now I have your social, and the scammers now can lead to identity theft. So it's like the scams build upon each other. Okay, Andy, and it just causes more heartache, more difficulties for veterans and their families. So be aware of the red flags, and let's make sure that we have our no script and we know how to hang up the phone if those calls come your way.
And what is it that veterans can do to lower their risk of being targeted?
Absolutely. The survey that we did back in November of 2021 identified many opportunities to better protect themselves. So here's a couple of things I want to share with your listeners today. They can sign up for a robocall blocking service to minimize those number of robocalls. What we found is that 49% of veteran and military respondents did not use a robocall blocking service. So block those calls so that you can limit the opportunity for scammers. make sure they add their number to the do not call registry. That's extremely important. And you can do that at do not call.gov. Place a security freeze on your credit report so that every time this will stop a criminal from opening up new accounts on your account. And then lastly, I would make sure that you keep all of your firewall and antivirus software up to date. And one more thing, please always check the legitimacy of a charity before making a donation. Ask how that donation will be used. Because like I mentioned earlier, veterans, military, and their families, they're always looking for that second mission. They want to give back. And then
Yeah.
that leaves them open to be scammed by these scammers. So just make sure you check the legitimacy of those charities. And information on how to do that is located at our www.aarp.org/veterans website.
And can you tell me more about what AARP is doing to help address this issue?
Absolutely. Especially around fraud, we recently launched back on April 20th of 2022, the AARP Veteran Fraud Center. This is a new online education resource center to help protect veterans, service members, and their families against fraud. There's free resources within this particular landing page to where we have our new AARP Watchdog Alert Handbook for Veterans Editions, and it highlights tips on the most common ways con artists target veterans, and that's all free. And then, of course, you can be connected to our AARP Fraud Watch Network and Scam Tracking Map, which is really a cool resource, Andy. This scam tracking map allows you to put in your zip code, and then it'll show you all of the scams that are most prevalent in your area. Because remember, scammers are always trying to figure out ways on how they can relate to you. They'll try to use local landmarks to build that confidence. So you can I quickly identify that through our scam tracking map. Again, all free for you in our AARP Vet Fraud Center, and that's located on our aarp.org/veteran site. And then lastly, we have Operation Protect Veterans, which is a public awareness initiative that we do have with the United States Postal Inspection Service. And we work together to make sure that we equip the most up-to-date knowledge with our veterans and their families about scams. So that was a mouthful. That was a lot of information. But again, there's one source where you can find it, and that's at our aarp.org/veterans website.
And what is the last piece of advice you would give to veterans and military families before we have to leave today?
I just want to, first of all, I want to thank, if you don't mind, I want to thank all the veterans and their families in the audience. When we're called to serve, or we do it, on our own, it takes families to assist with that. So I just want to make sure that our veterans and military families know that we are here at AARP. We are here to support you. We have nearly 6 million members that are veterans, but we are open to these resources are free to all veterans, military, and their families, and people that are not in the military as well. So please, if you hear a scam, know a scam, report that scam to us. Let us know so that we can share it with our nearly 38 million members across the United States so we can put a stop to it. And I want to thank all the veterans and their families for serving and paving the way for me to serve this country as well. So I say thank you, and we salute you.
Thank you. Again, thank you for your service. Thank you to the service from all of our veterans and their families. And thanks for joining us today. And we will see you again, same time, same place, next Wednesday, 10 o'clock in the morning. Thank you all.
It's my pleasure.